What's up guys, Josh Luck here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how to drive traffic to your Etsy store. And in this video specifically, I'm going to be talking about external sources as opposed to internal. I've made some videos in the past talking about SEO and some internal traffic generation. I'll link those in the description, but this one we're just going to be talking about external. And if you're new here, my name is Josh, aka Wallamoose, and I post twice a week here on YouTube talking about digital entrepreneurship, marketing, graphic design, Etsy, the whole shebang. So if you like that kind of content, feel free to subscribe. I would love to have you along for the ride. But without further ado, let's get started. So there's a few things you need to do before thinking about driving traffic to your store. First thing is you want to make sure your listings and store is fully optimized, because you could drive as much traffic as you want to your store, but if your listings look bad and they don't convert well, Etsy will kind of push your listings under the rug. They really like high converting listings. And what this means is you need to make sure you have good product photography, you have a lot of photos, you have a nice description, a nice title, your policies are fully filled out. Basically your store is fully functional and looking good, and it converts well. That way when you do drive traffic to your store, you can convert well and Etsy will kind of bump you up in the algorithm, and maybe you'll get some internal traffic as well. So it's kind of a win-win situation if your listings look really good. And then the next thing you need to do before driving traffic is figuring out who your target audience is. Now, a lot of people when they first get started driving traffic, all they do is join Facebook groups for Etsy sellers or product promotion stores. However, the people in those groups aren't really properly targeted and they're not going to convert well. So think about what your product is and what kind of people buy your product. So my store is called Waypoint Printables. I do printables that are like daily planners and things to help people get organized. And so instead of joining Facebook groups for people who like planners, maybe I should join something for new parents or for new college students. People who aren't directly related to my product, but they may need it. So kind of think outside the box about your target audience and who you should be marketing to. And then after you have those two things in order, optimizing your listings and finding your target audience, we can jump into actually driving traffic to your store. It's what y'all are here for. I know you're excited to get into it. So let's get started with some tips. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the obvious social media. Social media is it's what people think of when they think of external traffic sources. However, a lot of people when they get started, they think they need to have their foot in every single social media platform. But what I would recommend is finding one or two that you're really excited about and putting all of your effort into those two platforms. Because the problem is when people get an Instagram account, a Facebook account, TikTok, YouTube, everything across the board, it's like the saying, a jack of all trade, but the master of none. You're not putting 100% effort into any one of those, and they're all going to probably tank. So you want to find two that you're really excited about and put all of your effort into that. Now, depending on your store will depend on which ones you choose, but I'm going to quickly break down what I think about each social media platform. So first of all, Instagram, the most popular. I wouldn't really recommend doing Instagram simply because it's oversaturated. You can use hashtags to promote yourself, but it's very hard to grow from scratch on Instagram. So it's kind of not a waste of time, but it's a waste of time. And then that kind of leads into Facebook as well. Facebook is another platform I wouldn't really recommend getting started on, simply because it's really hard to build up an audience from nothing just from making a Facebook page. Now, Facebook does have Facebook groups, which I would recommend getting into, because you can find people who are in your target audience who may be interested about your product, that you can join those groups and get involved. So if you're going to do Facebook, I would recommend doing Facebook groups as opposed to a Facebook page. And then we get into our top 3 of social media platforms for business. So TikTok, surprisingly enough, I would fully recommend looking into TikTok. A lot of people's lives have been completely changed with TikTok. TikTok's interesting because it gives anyone a chance. The algorithm is set up in a way where when you're first getting started, it gives you a chance to get your content out and get it seen and see if people like it. So I would really recommend doing some research, seeing if TikTok is a good fit for you. And if you make handmade stuff, people love videos of ASMR or just aesthetically pleasing videos of people making products. So a lot of Etsy stores, their lives have been changed through TikTok. A lot of people have had an influx of customers just because something went viral. I, for example, during the pandemic, made a TikTok account for my dog. It shot up to 100,000 followers in 6 months, and I had a couple things go viral. Unfortunately, I didn't have any merch or anything linked to it, so I didn't profit from it. But it just goes to show, like, if I can get my dog to 100,000 followers just from nothing, anyone can do anything. So look into TikTok. It's interesting. And then you've got YouTube and Pinterest. Both are really good for content creation because they can make evergreen content that people can go back to a lot. So if you're looking to get started, I would look into TikTok, YouTube, and Pinterest as my top 3. And that'll kind of segue into tip number 2. Once you actually create your social media accounts, don't just post about your business and shove it down people's throat. That's a surefire way to get people to unfollow you, not be interested in your account, and basically have your account not work anymore. What you want to do instead is create content that adds value to your followers. So let's go back to my example, Waypoint Printables doing printers and planners. Instead of simply promoting all of my products on my social media, what I can do is have like a top 10 tips for increasing productivity, or something that adds value as a piece of content. And then if people enjoy that, they'll follow for the tips and the evergreen content that adds value to their life. And then from there, once you get some devoted followings, you can link that in your profile, your description, your banner, anything that can lead back to your store, and you'll get some people trickle in here and there. But if you go into it just posting about your business all the time, no one's going to care about it, and it's probably not going to do well. And in addition to creating content that adds value as opposed to just promoting your business, you want to make sure you create content that's searchable. So this is ways that people can find your store or find your social media platform organically. So let's say you have a YouTube channel. So making a video, increase productivity, they watch the video, they're like, oh, that was a great video. And then in the description, see my channel or see my Etsy store and go into it, so it funnels that way. So the main takeaways, searchable content and content that adds value. Now, going into this, you need to know it takes time and effort, and you're not going to create a social media account, go viral overnight, and see an influx of traffic. It's something you need to constantly work towards, and in a few months, you can see traffic trickle in. So just like anything else, it takes time, patience, and a lot of effort, but it will pay off in the end. And then my next tip is kind of springboarding off my last tip. Create evergreen content, something that people will search for years down the line after you post it. So a few great ways to do this, if you're interested in making evergreen content, is making a free blog, writing some blog posts that is like valuable content. YouTube, excellent way again. Pinterest is a very unique social media platform that people will search for and find your posts years down the road, as opposed to Instagram, where you post and then a couple hours later it kind of dies off. So blogs, YouTube, and Pinterest are great ways to make evergreen content. And this is very valuable because you can create less content that has a longer lifespan. And then as you create more and more content, it compounds on itself. And so let's say you post once a week, like one blog post a week. After 10 weeks, that's 10 blog posts and 10 opportunities for people to find your content. So it's a marathon, not a sprint. Just constantly be adding content to the internet and have it all funnel back to your shop. But remember, make it valuable to the viewer. Don't just promote your shop. And I'm sorry, there's no get-rich-quick way to drive traffic to your store unless you do paid advertising, which is great if you have the budget for it, but a lot of people getting started don't really have a marketing budget to drive ads to their store. So creating evergreen content that adds value to your user across a few different social media platforms of your choice is an excellent way to drive traffic to your store over time. And if you put the work up front, I promise it'll pay off. It'll be worth it in the end, trust me. But if you like this video, please consider subscribing. Again, I post twice a week about digital entrepreneurship and Etsy, a lot of Etsy videos. So if you're an Etsy seller, it may be beneficial for you to subscribe. And then I hope the content that I'm creating is adding value to your life and everyone's happy. So have a great day, and I will see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching.